Should be better if you'll let me know. I appreciate it. Madam Clerk, would you do a roll call, please?
Clark Gambling,
Present.
Teresa Bay. Here. Tim Brown.
Here.
Carol Cole. Here. Julie Edwards. Martha Bernhaber. Here. Clay Hardy.
Here.
Doug Keenan.
Here.
Annette Martin. Sean Marks. Tad Mayhall.
Here.
Keith McCormick.
Here.
Tim Morse.
Here.
Lori Nelson. Here. Christy Otis. Sonny Ross.
Here.
Mitchell Schaff.
Here.
Don Pate.
Here.
Brent Wallace.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Item 3, discuss and vote on approval of minutes from the October 10 regular board meeting. I entertain a motion. Mr. McCormick makes a motion. Second. Mr. Tate makes a second. Any discussion on the November 10 regular board meeting minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. October 10 minutes are adopted. October 21 emergency board meeting. I'd entertain a motion to adopt those minutes. Mr. Wallace makes that motion. I'd take a second. Ken makes a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay. November the 7th, special board meeting. I'd entertain a motion to adopt those minutes. Ms. Cole makes a motion, second. Mr. Schuff makes a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. November 7th, special board meeting, and it's adopted. Okay, item 4, announce a vacancy in County Board District Number 8 due to resignation of Chairman Williams. I think all the board members received a copy of that letter. There's no need to take any action, just an acknowledgement of the vacancy. Item 5, discussion and vote to make appointment to fill vacancy in County Board District 8. Upon the recommendation of Republican Central Committee, I have been given the name, and the gentleman is here. His name is Chad Yantis. I would entertain a motion to appoint Chad Yantis to fill District 8 seat. Lori makes a motion. Martha makes a second. Any discussion on Mr. Yantis? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Seeing none, Mr. Yantis, would you like to be sworn in and take your seat, please?
Yes.
I, Chad Yanis, having been appointed to the office of Shelby County Board District 8
To the office of Shelby County Board District 8
in the County of Shelby,
in the County of Shelby,
in the state of Illinois,
State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and will faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Shelby County Board District 8
of the Shelby County Board District 8
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. I just need you to sign for me, please. And then would you do me a favor? From your home to here. So
Sure.
Okay. You can just take your seat wherever you want.
All right, thank you.
All right, item 6, probation officer Heather Wade. Discuss and vote to approve an annual drunk and drug driving prevention month proclamation. You're not Mrs. Wade, but I'll turn it over to you.
Good evening, I'm Angie Durbin. I'm the drug court officer and probation officer for Shelby County Probation Department. As December is coming up pretty quick, the holiday season's approaching. With that, it's a time for celebration and joy with our family, but we must also acknowledge the heightened risks that come with it, particularly through drunk and drug driving. The holiday season is traditionally one of the deadliest times for accidents involving drivers under the influence of drugs and alcohol. every holiday season, we place a Christmas tree in the basement. You usually see it when you come in at the end of the hallway. The probation department puts a tree down there, and we put a ribbon on for memory of those lives that have lost due to drunk or drug driving. In the past, the board has supported us in giving us a proclamation to declare December as Drunk and Drug Driving Prevention Month, and we were asking for your support for that again this year.
All right.
Any questions?
I'd entertain a motion to approve the annual Drunk and Drug Driving Prevention Month proclamation.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Morris makes a motion, Ms. Fernhaber seconds it. Any discussion or questions for Ms. Gerber?
Okay, thank you.
Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7, discussion and vote to approve the annual resolution for services of the State's Attorney Appellate Prosecutor's Office 12/1/2024 through 11/30/2025 for $10,000 per 725 ILCS 210/1. To entertain a motion to adopt that. Mr. McCormick makes a motion. Give a second.
I'll second.
Ms. Baines seconds. So we have a couple of documents that Ms. Woolery sent us as read-ahead material. I did have an opportunity to speak with the Appellate Prosecutor's Office a few weeks ago and gained a little bit of knowledge and insight on this. The Appellate Prosecutor's Office is currently assisting, at that time of the conversation, is currently assisting our state's attorney with at least 5 cases. Any one of those cases would have far exceeded this $10,000 amount. They provide services if a case that is tried here is challenged in the appellate court. They provide services for that. Highly complicated cases that are tried in this circuit, they provide assistance to our state's attorney for that. So with that being said, after a short conversation with him, $10,000, while there's a lot of money, it is a drop in the bucket to what that bill could be if we were being billed by that office by the hour. So I would encourage you guys to vote on this. Any further discussion?
And
Roy?
because I understand that there's an increase from the 8,000 to the 10, and the 10 will be in the budget. It will be allocated.
Correct. So last year, this amount was $8,000. The amount is determined, everybody was afforded a graph. The graph for our county, it goes by population. We're between 14,500 and 22,999, and that amount is $10,000, an increase of $2,000 from last year. That will be, regardless of the amount of time, the number of prosecutors, regardless of the amount of help, 10,000 is our ceiling, and that, to my understanding, is in the state's attorney's budget. I think we need to, there's a resolution that has to be adopted so that that can take place. Any further discussion or questions about that? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Amley,
Yes.
Bain,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Fernhaber,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Keenan,
Yes.
Mayhall,
Yes.
McCormick,
Yes.
Morse,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Shuck,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Yanis.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item number 8, EMA Director Scott McKee, discussion and vote to approve the use of $21,500 in ARPA funds for IPAWS, IPAWS compatible software. I see Mr. McKee is in the room, so I'll yield the floor to you.
Basically, this was originally from last month, this was the Text.my.gov software. I left it a little bit more ambiguous because the finance committee didn't have a chance to look over the Text.my.gov contract that I sent you guys. So I left it ambiguous in case we still don't like Text.my.gov. I can at least find a software that we like and can use that money for. That way it's already earmarked for that purpose.
The $21,500 is more than just a single year. Is that
4
correct?
years. 4 years.
For 4 years.
Yeah.
And then there was an issue with that contract where it had an evergreen clause, but you were able to work that out so it will not automatically renew without official action.
Correct, but I still won't go ahead and purchase that software until you guys have had a chance to look it over.
I would entertain a motion to approve the use of $21,500 in ARPA funds for the iPaws compatible software. Mr. Mayhall makes a motion. Mr. Tate seconds it.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
That, the part that is, we're not tied into and stuff, does that money have to be, does that have to be tied down before the end of December for that?
So if I understand your question correctly, Mr. McKee alluded that it may not cost $21,500. And so then if it doesn't cost $21,500, then what happens? Is that what you're saying?
No, I thought that there was a part of it that if we didn't like it, you would look for something else.
Right. Yeah. That's why I didn't mention TextMyGov specifically when asking for this. This would go towards any software that's iPaws compatible.
Can it be written that way? You don't have a specific for ARPA money?
I'm going to defer that question to Mr. Mayhall. You've spent more time going over the ARPA laws and different language and how it's spelled out. What is your opinion?
So specifically, this is paying for iPaws,
This is paying for the software that would be used for iPaws. Correct.
and then any add-ons to that? Is that what you're asking for as well? Like something to tack onto that, TextMyGov or anything else?
It would just be for TextMyGov if that's approved. If it's not approved for specifically TextMyGov, then I would find something else.
You don't like TextMyGov?
I do, but again, because of the budget stuff, the finance committee didn't have a chance to look over that, so I didn't want to just try and push that through.
So this specifically, I mean, that could be brought in later then, right? TextMyGov we could do later.
Yeah.
You're asking just for iPaws.
Correct.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Mr. Harding?
Yeah, I didn't get, I guess I didn't understand what does IPAWS stand for?
So basically, it's ability to push text message out to every citizen in the county.
Okay.
Yeah, without them having to sign up for anything. So if like there is a missing child, for instance, I can set up a search area in that area, and any person in that area would get that text message automatically.
And the way I understand it, the sheriff can use it and other people, other...
Yes, the county would be authorized to use it.
Any other further questions, comments? Okay.
Was this something that was going to benefit Jessica's office also, or was that the other thing? Okay.
No. The iPaws part of it, so we were using software before for iPaws. When we started looking for a replacement for it, we wanted something that all the county departments could potentially use so that it had the iPaws capability, but would also benefit all the county departments.
So it is far more than just for emergency services. Folks in the courthouse will have the ability to push out pertinent information.
Yes, absolutely.
To, yeah. Any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Is the 21.5, is that a one-time shot for the 4 years?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's $5,000 a year and then an initial $1,500 for setup.
So it can be divided over a 4-year period?
No.
Not if you're using, sorry.
Not to, no, we use the.
They'll want to pay it up front.
All right, perfect. I got understanding now. Thank you.
We're intending to use ARPA funds to pay that out for a while. And then hopefully by that point, we'll be able to roll it into our regular budget if it pans out the way we'd like it to. That's why it's being front loaded like that.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What will it run after the 4 years? Is it still 21.5 after the 4 years, or?
That'll be, currently it's $5,000 a year, but they could change the price at that point. So that'll be a decision for that board to make.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Amling,
Yes.
Bank,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Fernhaber,
Yes.
Artie,
Yes.
Keenan,
Yes.
Mayhall,
Yes.
McCormick,
Yes.
Morse,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Sheff,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Yanis.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Item 9, Michael Tappendorf, County Highway Engineers Report, and we have discussion and vote to approve multiple items. I give the floor to you.
Thank you, Chair. I'll try and keep this a little shorter tonight with my report. So we'll have some future items for discussion, still some engineering agreements and petitions to come. I'm trying to still set a bunch of bridges in motion. As far as my highway department, just accomplishments that we've done in the last, since the last meeting. We've done a lot of drainage and ditch improvements around Finley Road, Oklahoma Road, Vandalia Road, and Neoga Road. My guys have been very busy, and it's been very big projects, so it's taken them a while to do those things. They've been doing shoulder reclaiming throughout the county, trying to keep the shoulders from having steep drop-offs. They've been doing regular maintenance such as patching, signage, and other maintenance. My front office team, my technical team, including myself, we've been doing a lot of budget, construction inspection, including the paperwork for that, planning and budgeting, planning for different projects for next year's bridges and road projects, as well as other future projects. My guys have been catching up on all their paperwork from the construction season. And in the last month, I've met with all 24 of our township commissioners, which took a lot of my time doing their planning, helping them doing their planning for all of their oiling and chipping and drainage and everything that they want to do over the course of the next year. So, then going on to projects, County Highway 5, which is the Country Club Road headed north out of Shelbyville towards Finley. That was done last month, and Howell did a great job. They were the contractor on that. They got in, they got out, and I feel like in a pretty good manner, and they did a good job of keeping me within budget, so I was pretty happy with that as well. There are 2 bridges still in Oconee Township. One is complete, and one is still under construction. The second is hopefully to be open later this fall or winter. As far as next year projects, we're still hopeful that County Highway 3, which is east of Finley, is going to be under construction. Bidding likely in June is what IDOT is hopefully telling me still. We have 2 bridges planned for next year construction. In Ridge Township, we'll have one in Ash Grove, and on the line of Ash Grove to Big Spring. So that's the majority of what we've been doing and what we're planning to do. We have a lot of other projects coming, but those are the big things coming our way. So with that, I'd entertain any questions regarding the report.
Okay, you have a resolution for no parking signage to be placed on County Highway 2 around Wilburn Creek. I entertain a motion. Mr. Brown, entertains a motion. Mark, second. Is there a cost associated with that, or we just have to we just have to have a resolution to allow the signs to be placed?
It's mainly the resolution to allow the signs. Since they're enforceable, I need the county's approval.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Engineering agreement with Hampton, Lenzini, and Renwick for 2024 bridge inspection program for $64,000. Mr. Brown makes a motion.
Martha.
Brent.
Brent Wallace, I'll get it. I'm terribly sorry. Mr. Wallace makes a second. Any discussion on the engineering? Hearing none, roll call please.
Amlin,
Yes.
Bain,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Fernhaber,
Yes.
Artie,
Yes.
Keenan,
Yes.
Mayhall,
Yes.
McCormick,
Yes.
Morse,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Sheff,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Yanis.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, next appears to be a 50/50, engineering agreement with Gonzalez Companies for services related to the reconstruction of structure 0873120, estimated cost of $17,250. Payment anticipated by the state of Illinois. I'd entertain a motion. Brown. Mr. McCormick makes a second. We're going to spend $17,250, but you expect that to come back?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Any questions regarding this expense? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Amley,
Yes.
Bain,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cole, Fernhager,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Keenan,
Yes.
Mayhall,
Yes.
McCormick,
Yes.
Morse,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Shuck,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Yanis.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Now for the 50/50 petition from Rose Township Highway Commissioner to demolish and construct a new bridge on TR 221 southwest of Shelbyville. I'd entertain a motion. Mr. Brown makes a motion. Entertain a second. Mr. Shuff makes a second. Are there expenses incurred with this?
So this one will go along with the next, this one is tied to the next item, which will be the engineering agreement. The first one is the county board's acknowledgement that I can demolish the structure first.
Okay, so this is just essentially allowing you to destroy it, to demolish. Okay. Any questions, comments concerning that? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we have an engineering agreement with Hampton, Lenzini, and Renwick for engineering services for the reconstruction of 0873161 in Rose Township. Estimated cost of $48,000. Payment anticipated by the state of Illinois. Entertain a motion. Mr. Brown, Ms. Fernhaver. Any comments or questions, discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Amley,
Yes.
Bain,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Fernhager,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Keenan,
Yes.
Mayhall,
Yes.
McCormick,
Yes.
Morse,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Shuck,
Yep.
Tate,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Yanis.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we have a 50/50 petition from Shelbyville Township Highway Commissioner to remove and replace box culvert with concrete pipes. Estimated cost $23,160. Entertain a motion. Mr. Brown makes the motion. Mr. Shuff seconds. Any discussion or questions regarding this agenda item?
Does the township have any part of this as far as the payment,
Be shared half. Half the cost will be shared.
50/50?
Yes.
Is our estimated cost $23,160 or is our estimated cost half of $23,160?
Half of 23,160.
Any further discussion?
Just a question, is this a specific box culvert or just multiples?
It is one box culvert south on Copeland Road. South
Okay,
of
so it just
Shelby.
didn't say, most of them say what or where, so, okay,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Amley,
Yes.
Bain,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Fernhager,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Keenan,
Yes.
Mayhall,
Yes.
McCormick,
Yes.
Morse,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Shuck,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Yanis.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Lastly, we have a 50/50 petition from Oklaw Township Highway Commissioner to install storm relief CMD pipes along 1650 East at the intersection with Union Pacific Railroad. Estimated cost is $5,996. I'd entertain a motion. Motion from Mr. Brown, seconded by Ms. Fernhaver. And again, our outlay would be half of the $59.95, correct? Or 96, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Any discussion or questions regarding this? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Amley,
Yes.
Bain,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Fernhager,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Keenan,
Yes.
Mayhall,
Yes.
McCormick,
Yes.
Morse,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Shuck,
Yep.
Tate,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Yanis.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Katendorf. I appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Item 10, discussion and vote to approve continuing the ARPA $1 an hour premium pay and health insurance premium so long as wellness checks are completed. for all non-union employees until a new union contract is negotiated and signed. I have a motion. Ms. Bain makes the motion. I have a second. Mr. Mayhall makes a second. I did not put this on the agenda, nor do I have any information or knowledge about it, so I would open the floor to whoever did or does.
I have knowledge of it. You want me to tell you what I know?
I'd like that.
The current agreement or resolution expires the 30th of November for all the non-union people. And all this is doing is extending that until the new contract with ASME and FOP are completed.
Is there an estimated?
I have no idea when
Really
the
hard.
contracts are going to be
Right.
negotiated.
Right.
I think the state's attorney put this on here.
That's possible. Any thoughts or ideas on how that will impact as we spend down ARPA? Any?
I don't have a clue, but there are concerns. Employees came to me that are in the non-union position about their health insurance and stuff, having to pay for it.
Well, I guess my concern is if we run out of ARPA funds, are we going to be able to continue doing it through general funds until the contract is signed?
The last I knew, we had $1.3 million in the ARPA funds. I don't think we're going to run out.
That's probably safe. Any questions, comments regarding this? All right, seeing none, roll call vote please.
Amling,
Yes.
Bain,
Yes?
Brown,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Fernhaber,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Keenan,
Yes.
Mayhall,
Yes.
McCormick,
Yes.
Morse,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Sheff,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Yanis.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item 11.
Question.
Yes.
The second item on the Mr. Tabendorf's request here, that engineering agreement with that firm
Yes,
for
sir.
24, is that to pay for what's already been done, or is that a contract for actually 25?
It is 2025. That's to do next year's.
Okay, so really that should say 25 instead of 24?
Yes, thank you for the correction there. You are correct.
Do we need to revisit that for any reason? Maybe we recorded it as 24. I don't want that to be problems in the future.
I think on the agreement, it says 25, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
So as long as everything on your end is official, then we're good to move ahead. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Tate. Item 11, discussion and vote to rescind resolution 2024-34 regarding the sale of the county farm. Entertain a motion. Mr. McCormick makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Bain seconds it. Mr. McCormick, I understand this is your agenda item. If you'd like to address it, I would allow you the floor.
Yeah, appreciate that. Well, being that there's a lawsuit over this scenario, in order to get the board out of the lawsuit, I thought it would be best to stop this motion at the time, and then if we want to move forward in the future, we'll work with the state's attorney and draft a legal resolution to sell the farm. So I guess I felt it was best to rescind it now and end all the legal expense and tying people up. And I did a little research into rescinding motions, and it looks, to me, what I read was as long as somebody that voted for the motion proposed to rescind it, that was possible to rescind one if new information has come to light. And I guess the legality of the motion would be my new information that I think has come to light. I don't think our state's attorney thought necessarily one way or the other, so I'm like, well, I guess that's why I put it on there.
Thank you. So as the sitting board chair, the board chair is named in the suit. I was able to have a conversation with Mr. McCormick. I'm just going to tell you my position on this is we sort of got ourselves in this mess by doing things that we thought were right, being that we are engaged in a lawsuit, the board currently does not have court-appointed legal counsel. I would be hesitant to have any kind of knee-jerk reaction to, while I don't disagree that maybe in my thinking this might mitigate the lawsuit, I don't know that it actually does. And I don't know that if we rescind this, if that does not compound the issue and create additional legal problems. That's my concern that's my concern in rescinding the resolution without having legal counsel that will say, yes, rescinding it is fine. Currently, the situation is in status quo. Nothing is moving, nothing is happening. There was a hearing on the 13th. It's all on judici for anybody that wants to go and see. The bidder has been notified that there is a legal case pending on this issue, so that may complicate the issue even further. I personally would not be in favor of doing anything regarding that resolution without having court-appointed legal counsel. Ms. Fernandez.
It's my understanding that Robert's Rules of Order wouldn't allow us to rescind this because there's been action taken on what the resolution was. So we passed the resolution by 12-7 vote of the board. We've put it out to bid. We have a bid. We did the surveying. We did all this stuff. So we have taken action on the resolution that was passed. So it's my understanding that we can't. But that said, with no legal counsel and not knowing if we're sending this when a bidder has placed the bid per the specs that we put out, what prevents them from suing us for bad faith if we do that? And so without legal counsel, and our state's attorney has advised us that she has a conflict, so it's up to the court, the judge, to appoint counsel. And I think until that happens, we shouldn't take any action.
Ms. Mayo.
Most recent version of Robert's Rules, which is in 2020, 12th edition, 35(6)(b), when something has been done as a result of the vote on the main motion that is impossible to undo. The unexecuted part of the order, however, can be rescinded. So while it's true, parts of the resolution can't be undone because they've been done, there is one part that could be undone, which is actually affect the sale. The very last paragraph in the resolution, or the last paragraph, first page of the resolution.
Right. So there's been a couple of people mentioning Robert's Rules. In fact, Mr. McCormick alluded to it as well. There is a discussion, and there's opinions on both sides as to whether or not enough of it has been enacted to disallow us, because this board has adopted Robert's Rules, to disallow us to rescind the resolution. There's opinions on both sides. Some you can, some you can't. Again, I defer back to, I'm not a lawyer, I do not have a law degree. I can tell you how I read it and what my opinion is, which is not different than 21 other people. Mr. Shelby.
Yes, a question to you, Mr. Chairman, and you, Mr. McCormick. Has the state's attorney weighed in on the rescission, or have you asked, or has any?
I have not.
Okay.
And the last communication that I had, Ms. Woolery remains in a position of conflict and wishes to defer our legal counsel to the court for appointment, which she's filed the correct motions to do so. The court has just not yet entered us as a legal counsel. Ms. Fernandez.
I'd like to make a motion to table until we have appropriate legal counsel appointed.
Ms. Fernandez makes a motion to table. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. Discussion on the motion to table.
There is no discussion. You don't discuss a motion to table, do you just vote on it?
That's correct.
Yes, Mr. Keenan seconded. All those in favor of tabling item 11, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
No.
If those that are opposed could raise your hand. Motion carries. Item tabled, yes? Okay. Item 12, discussion and vote to approve liquor license renewal for the following establishments for FY 24-25. There are several listed here in an effort to be quick. Is there any one of these that anyone would like to pull out separately to discuss, or can we do them?
I want to do the first one separately, vote on it.
Okay, we will do them all separately. Okay, the first one is Jackie's Gambling, DBA Lucky Ducks Gaming, Class 5, Restaurant B. Entertain a motion to renew the license for Jackie's. Ms. Fernhaber makes the motion. Need a second. Mr. Hardy makes a second. Any discussion on Jackie's Gaming?
I want a roll call vote.
Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
Have they had any mishaps, I guess would be a good way to put that?
Any violations?
Any violations?
To my knowledge, no. Sheriff, are you better positioned to answer that? None to your knowledge? Clerk?
No.
Nothing? I would say no. Yes, sir?
Has there been any problems in any of these establishments that you've had?
I wouldn't say there's not been no problems, but nothing out of the ordinary.
No reason that you wouldn't recommend
Yeah, I have no objection.
anything else?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
Any other discussion? Oh,
Is Shelbyville Township still dry?
I have no idea.
Sure is.
These are liquor license renewals, which is an indication that they have one. Yes?
I would just
Yeah,
ask.
I don't know. I'm asking you a question, not trying to be, I'm just saying they're renewal. It's not an application for, it's an application to renew. So my assumption would be that it's legal to renew something that's already there. That's just me. Ms. Bain?
I think that there's records that show that Shelby Township is a dry township.
That's very well possible, but I'm not sure this is the place for that conversation.
I'm just saying. I think there's records.
We will not entertain conversation from the gallery. We will not have interruptions from the gallery at all. We're having a great debate. We're going to continue to do so. Ms. Bain.
There's a fly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, any further discussion on Jackie's gambling?
Oh, I'm just curious,
Mr.
how
Hardy.
did she get it, if that, what's going on here?
The person that issued it isn't here. That's all I'm
Ms.
saying.
Fernhaber.
This has been a back and forth and back and forth and back and forth for a number of years, and if there's going to be a battle, I think it needs to go to the courts. And on the legal side, I agree with Sunny, this is a renewal, we're not issuing a new license, and to interject ourselves into the middle of that, I think puts the county in potential risk of liabilities that we don't need to take on.
Understood. Any further discussion? Okay, per request of Ms. Bain, roll call, please.
Amling,
Yes.
Bain,
Abstain?
Brown,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Fernhaber? Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Keenan,
Abstain.
Mayhaw,
Abstain.
McCormick,
Yes.
Morse,
No.
Nelson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Sheff,
No.
Tate,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Yanis.
No.
Motion passes. 10 ayes, 3 noes, 3 abstains.
Okay, motion carries. Is there any objection to omnibusing the rest of these? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to renew license for Oak Terrace Resort, Castaways at Coon Creek, Willow Ridge Winery, Twilight Distillery, Walling Vineyards, Eagle Creek Golf Course. Mr. Tate makes a motion, Ms. Fernandez seconds. Any discussion? Questions, discussions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 13, committee reports. Mr. Mayhaw.
Yeah, I know it's been a little bit since we've actually convened the Public Safety Committee, but I would say a lot of that's due to just sparing the time and expense of the committee. We are in regular contact with all the departments, and those that lead those departments. Animal Control gives us a great report on a regular basis. The sheriff does communicate regularly as well. But if anybody has any questions, we'd be more than happy to answer what those are. But I just want to acknowledge that we haven't had one for a while, and that was just because I feel that we were up to speed. Nobody needed anything.
And in fairness to you, there has been constant communication within the committee, and if any need has arisen to desire a meeting, so yeah, appreciate that. Other committee updates? Mr. Brown.
We had a cookout lunch at the Highway Department on Friday, November 1st. It's the second consecutive year we've done this. This year we invited city board members to attend, and we had a few. I understand it's hard to attend during a work day, but it went over real well. The workers really liked it, and we plan to do it again next year, probably about the same time of year. Again, we'll invite board members. We'll also be inviting department heads. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other committee updates?
You want to report about what we discussed at the Finance Committee meeting the other night with the 708 stuff?
I sure can.
I mean, here, you want to just put that in a motion when you add these bills?
I think I can do it either way you prefer. I'll probably just do it there.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Any other committee reports? Okay, seeing none, item 14, chairman updates. I will give you some information, some things that I met with several departments over the last few days. I've been very receptive, actually learned a lot. And it's been nice to learn. Wish I'd have done it sooner. Apologize to some department heads that I didn't do that sooner. So I did meet with 708 and got a really good understanding from Ms. Cheney about that process, and I'll address some of that in the approval. I'll address that now instead, and we'll just do it later. We'll just amend the approval of claims. The 708, as always, it seems like when it comes up here, there's some contention around it. It's a lot of just lack of knowledge. This board appoints the 708 board. The 708 board has a levy inside of the county's levy, and specifically has funds for itself. The 708 board works with Shelby Community Services, Shelby County Community Services, SCCS. Because SCCS provides the services that the 708 funds are supposed to be used for. And so Ms. Cheney is the president of that. We keep seeing a lot of invoices come through finance that we're not accustomed to seeing. A lot of that has to do with their main person that used to handle all that retired. So there's new people trying to figure that process out. I was able to meet with the lady that is sending those bills over. Her and I had a great conversation. I think we can expect to see some things change there in the way those bills are submitted and has to be paid. So I would encourage anybody that doesn't know, if you don't want to go by yourself, call me. I'll try to go with you. But 708 is something that 708 mental health is a service that we need to provide. It's just as important as many of the other services that we provide. Shelby County, through the assistance, Shelby County Board, through the assistance of Shelby Community Services, is able to provide that. And it made a lot of sense when we sat down and talked.
It's a very impressive operation if you take the time to do.
Absolutely. So, item number 15, chairman appointments. Entertain a motion to appoint Brian McReynolds to the Christian Shelby 911 Board as an elected official appointment. Ms. Fernandez makes a motion, Mr. Tate seconds. Any discussion on that? Sheriff, is this a reappointment or is this a replacement appointment?
Well, I'm currently on the board, but this would be moving me to the elected official position.
You were on the board as a public safety secretary?
Correct.
Okay, okay. So this is leaving you on the board that you're on, moving you from public safety sector to elected official?
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I entertain a motion to appoint Scott McKee to the Christian Shelby 911 Board from the public safety sector. Ms. Fernandez makes the motion. Entertain a second. Mr. Wallace makes the second. Any discussion or questions on this? All right. All those in favor of appointing Scott McKee signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I would entertain a motion to appoint Mitchell Schuff to the Rescue Squad Committee. Ms. Fernandez makes the motion. Mr. Wallace seconds it. Any discussion or questions?
Is the rescue squad not going to be put under public safety?
It will. The process is leading up to that. We need to maintain that committee. But it absolutely will be brought to the full board.
Does that committee meet on a monthly basis?
Well, it's been difficult due to lack of committee member involvement. So we're trying to solve that. Any other questions? All those in favor of appointing Mitchell Schuff signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Madam Clerk, any correspondence?
No.
Any correspondence from any board members that you haven't yet read? Okay. Item 17, old business. Any old business that needs to be revisited?
I have a question. I have a question. The board received an email from Erica, and I don't know what the date was on it, but it was about the audit, and it read all, and then down below it says the FY 2022 audit and cipher have been submitted. Does that mean the audit is totally complete? Because it says all.
So yes, we did receive that email. I did send an email, sort of a follow-up, explaining at the last board meeting, I made the declaration that it was done. I found out later it in fact was not done. Mr. Mayhall worked together with me and we verified it was not done. There are 4 parts that are yet to be finished.
Okay.
We're down to 2 parts that need to be finished. There's a circuit clerk audit that is being worked on, that is yet to be delivered. And then there is an annual financial report that is also being worked on. That report goes to the Illinois State Comptroller's Office. When those 2 items are completed, the audit will officially be done. The audit itself is complete. You received a new copy recently with that from Erica. This is all. Yes. That is what was submitted to, I'm not going to say it because if I said it I'd be wrong. I'm tired of being wrong. That was submitted to the state somewhere, and that's the official document. So the question is complicated. Is the audit done? Yes, the audit is done. Is it complete? Can we move on? No, it is not. The audit itself is finished. The numbers are not going to change. The words are not going to change. The reporting pieces are what are yet to be done. And I haven't spoken on any of that from your understanding. Yeah, that's pretty well the way it is. Yeah. Any other old business? Yes, sir.
On the topic of audits, we communicated a few times. I think we've reached out to a total of 7 auditors if my math is right, it might be 6. I've had a couple of calls in which Mr. Ross joined me on one as well, and so I think we're narrowed down to possibly having somebody that's willing to come in and take care of, to jump in and do 23 for us, and after a conversation yesterday, maybe even 24, 25. So with that, I do have an invitation. I did not look to see if it was just a phone call or a Zoom invitation for next Friday with the 2 entities that are willing to do this. So I will go through and look at that and pass it through the clerk for anybody that wants to be part of that call.
Yeah. So there's been a massive learning curve in regards to that. It's not quite as simple as just getting somebody else to do something. We're so far along in the game that we're doing everything we can to just allow this to finish out so that FY22 is done and basically Brown completes it. We cannot even hire a new company to start FY22 until to do FY23 until 22 is done. But we have been working and we feel confident that we have a couple of companies in the wings, and as soon as we can give them the go-ahead and bring all that to the board, then we should be much better positioned than we are now. So I understand there's a lot of frustration and anxiety around this audit not being completed. I can assure you that communications are being made with all department heads, all heads of state that I can communicate with are being made aware. The folks that are looking to come along and help us are willing to make those communications to keep the bloodline going, understanding that we're going to work to get it fixed. So I'm asking for patience. I know that it's frustrating. I'm frustrated. I've been frustrated about this for a while. I spoke to several people much more intelligent than I, and patience seems to be the way to go at this time. So I just try to keep everybody apprised of what's going on. Just try and be patient as we get through that. Any other old business?
I just have a concern. I'm concerned that with us having a draft budget and having it out there for 15 days and it constantly changing and evolving, if that doesn't, I'm afraid that doesn't constitute it sitting in front of the public for 15 days, since it is changing the whole time.
Mr. Tate, did you have something you want to hold? So my understanding of that is, and clerk, you can correct me, the need is to hang and post a budget draft, which is what we've done. Many people, including myself, are not particularly fond of the draft. We need to have that budget adopted by 12/1. There's a discussion on whether or not it's 12/1 or 1. Okay, I'm taking the position of 12/1. If we don't make 12/1, then we're going to pray for grace and get it done by 1. Okay, but we can come back by 11/28. I plan to have a meeting 11/28 to where there has been efforts made with department heads, heads of committees, to adjust that budget so that it is much more palatable for us to adopt. There doesn't seem to be any malfeasance in doing that. We're not hiding anything from the public. It'll all be in plain sight. Those amendments will be made in an open meeting. Yes, things are being done behind the scenes, but nothing will be finished until it is in an open meeting and modified, amended, and adopted.
So are you fixing Thanksgiving dinner for us?
Just say you're on your own.
You're on Wednesday.
25. I was here at 10 for an 11 o'clock meeting. I'm trying to get Thanksgiving out of you. Sorry about that. So November 25. And the urgency to adopt that draft was because, Monday's the 25th, Tuesday's the 26th, and people start leaving town. So that needed to be done back last Thursday to meet that deadline. Does that answer your question?
It does, but I understand the urgency. I'm just, from what I read on the statute, it doesn't say draft, it says finished budget for 15 days.
Well, the finished budget will be hung for 15 days. You're saying before, right. And again, I'm trying to follow the wisdom of others before me, and that's where I landed. Any other old business? All right, seeing none. Item 18, ARPA funds update. Anybody prepared to give us an ARPA funds update or ask questions regarding the ARPA funds? Seeing a lot of shaking heads, no. Okay, item 19, approval of claims. I would entertain a motion to approve the claims as submitted by the Finance Committee. Mark Cornell makes a motion, Dante seconds it.
There was one item on there that you were looking at.
Yeah.
Did you?
So I have two amendments to make. First of all, in conjunction with conversation that was held in the Finance Committee, I would entertain a motion to amend the budget to remove $7,837.50 as submitted from Benford and Brown. I have a motion to withdraw that. Mr. Mayhall makes the motion. Mr. McCormick makes the second. The conversation in finance was that I was going to email seeking some clarity and some confirmation on what that invoice was for. I haven't heard anything back. As soon as I hear something back, the bill may be legitimate. There's been communication with myself and the clerk and the state's attorney, and the wisdom seems that for right now, we need to withdraw that from being paid at this time. So, any questions? All those in favor of amending the bills to remove $7,837.50 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
One. Okay. I would entertain a motion to amend the bills to include $128,916.35 for the expenses submitted from the 708 Mental Health Board. And I need a motion to adopt that. Mr. Mayhall makes a motion. Mr. Tate seconds it. Per the conversation in the Finance Committee, there was an envelope of invoices that we were struggling to make heads or tails out of. When I sat down with the folks at the 708 board, they spelled it all out clear as bell. I sent it to the Finance Committee. Anybody that'd like the email that I sent to the Finance Committee, just send an email and I'll forward it on to you. So, any other discussion on that? All those in favor of including the 708 expenses signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Are there any other amendments that need to be made to finance? Any discussion, questions about finance? All right, seeing none, roll call, please.
Amling,
Yes.
Bain. Yes. Brown.
What are we voting on?
Paying bills.
Yes. Claims.
Cole.
Yes.
Verhaber.
Yes.
Hardy.
Yes.
Keenan.
Yes.
Mayhall.
Yes.
McCormick.
Yes.
Morse.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Shep.
Yes.
Tate.
Yes.
Wallace.
Yes.
Yanis.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right. Item 20, public body comment. Is there a sheet out there?
There is, nobody's on it.
There, okay, thank you. All right, remind you that public body comment is limited to 5 minutes per commenter. And, thank you. Public body comment. Yes, sir.
Gene Price.
Gene?
Just, one thing I just want to bring to attention is talking about rescinding the resolution on the farm. There's been a couple concerns to say that you had received a bid, and if you don't sell it, that the person could sue you. But if you're familiar with the resolution, there's a part in there that says you have the right to refuse any and all bids. So that excludes you from a lawsuit if you don't take the guy's bid. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. How do you resend this?
Memory, I think.
No. Oh, geez. Good job. Public body comment. Yes, ma'am. And your name, please?
Amy Bledsoe. Last week, I emailed each and every one of you, and I got a response from 3, and I thank you for your response. But I've lost confidence in one of our board members to support our law enforcement, and at the very least, I think he needs to make a public apology to our sheriff's department. But I honestly, and everybody I've talked to, thinks he needs to step down, and that would be Mr. Brown. And I emailed everyone to state my case, but I had 3 people respond. And I just don't think that's a good thing. You need to respond to your constituents when they come to you with a legit concern. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Public body comment. Mr. Brown.
I'm not going to drop names. I'm not going to even specify which police department. And before I start, I will tell you I have had positive interactions with police. I've also had a lot of very negative interactions. I've been the guy that they are trying to get. And I appreciate that they are out there to protect us, but I must admit, in my pre-elderly years, I've never made a phone call and asked for any protection. I'm afraid of the police. Some of my friends are too. I did. No, I'm not going to. More recently, Miss Bledsoe, I've been pulled over twice for hugging the right-hand side of the lane too close. Has anybody ever been pulled over for that? Hugging the right-hand side of the lane? Seriously?
Seriously.
And were you ticketed for it?
Nope, I was in Texas.
Mr. Brown, please direct your comments to the board. We're not going to engage in back and forth with the public.
Well, Mark Shanks made a point that I should step down. I made a point. I think you need at least one person like me on the board. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Public body comment. Ms. Miller?
From the Shelby County Republicans. A word from Shelby County Republican Chairman Ross Wilson. This past week in a county board meeting, a board member suggested that members of our sheriff's department were greaseballs. This comment was completely out of line and does not reflect the values of our community. While there are concerns surrounding our budget, members from both parties of our county board are working together to address these issues in a responsible manner. These conversations should be able to be had in a respectful manner. And calling the men and women of this department derogatory terms is unacceptable. That is from the Shelby County Republican Party. Now, I listened to Mr. Brown's comments about his position on the police, and he made mention to something that happened, I believe, with custody of his children in the police, his interaction. Now, I wanted to find out how long ago this was, because when he's calling our police officers greaseballs, I believe he's referring to something that personally happened to him back in 2006-ish. And you're carrying a grudge against people you may have never even spoke to or know. And that concerns me. That mentality concerns me.
Mr. Brown, She has the floor.
That mentality concerns me, because you're making important decisions for our county regarding our safety, regarding budgets to keep us safe, and you can't even say I'm sorry, because how many people can you actually say that you know in our sheriff's department, Mr. Brown? How many officers do you personally know? And to call people greaseballs because you're carrying around anger about something that happened in your personal life? I am just, I would like to see an apology. And not only would I like to see it, but that came from the Republican Party, Mr. Brown, that I believe supported you in your candidacy. And reading that, I don't think they do anymore. And I think you've had your 5 minutes. I don't think there's any discussion back and forth here. But I'm just, you've been given the opportunity umpteen dozen times to apologize, and you can't, just for the name that you said. Because not everybody is a greaseball, Mr. Brown. Some people genuinely want to protect and serve. And I'm hurting because I don't think that this happened in a vacuum. We had Ms. Fernhaber calling our sheriff a liar. We had Jeremy Williams saying he didn't support the police department. We have had other board members that have gone after the sheriff's department. This didn't happen in a vacuum. Mr. Orman, when he was chair, posted on his Facebook page that our sheriff's office was corrupt. I did not see the Republican Party coming out and condemning any of that. And they should have. They should have. We back the blue. And I'm sad that it's gotten to this point, that he cannot say, I'm sorry. And he's holding a grudge against personal issues that happen. What one person does doesn't reflect everybody. If he had personal issues with certain people, that shouldn't be a blanket all over everyone.
Real quick.
Are you done, Ms. Miller?
I am.
I would like to clarify. It was a Shelby County budget meeting, but my words were police officers. My words were not Shelby County deputies. And my experiences are with police officers, not only Shelby County deputies. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Public body comment. Ms. Matlock.
In my family, we call police officers peacekeepers. And I think when you lump everybody into one pile, whether it be based on the color of their skin, their gender, any of those things, whether you take firemen, police officers, doctors, attorneys, and lump them all in the same pile, you find out that that pile is not always full of what you thought it was. Because many, many people that you might not have originally chosen to be on your friends list, actually, in an emergency, you're glad they were there. And you didn't care they work for the sheriff's department, the rescue squad. They may not be your best friend, but they pull your kid out of a car, save your life. So there are lots more positive interactions. So I hope that maybe Mr. Brown will consider that peacekeeper, maybe there's a lot of peacekeepers around here. And we all know them, and a lot of us have them in our family. And I'm proud of the people that I know, because they do the right thing. I'm sorry he had a bad experience. I wasn't there, I don't know, but I also know that police officers stop people whose driving looks a little erratic because we have people that have medical issues. And you're not sure if they're going through because they're diabetic, they're having a stroke, they're having a heart attack. You just don't know. So you just have to be professional when it happens and explain, yeah, I'm going home. I drive the same road every day, 5 days a week. It's just habit. It's something I do. Not a big deal, and they go, have a good evening and go on. Second thing is, I agree with Mr. Morse's comments earlier about the budget. I think that there have been great strides made to get it done. But I do believe the statute says that it has to be the revenue and expenses and everything has to be laid out. Of course, it has to be provided to them. They have to have the numbers before the budget committee can do their thing, and that's a process. But everything should be laid out so that an individual person can look at and see the last couple years' expenses, the expenses to this year, like as of today or yesterday, whatever, and what's remaining in the budget, and then the proposed budget. And if you look at any other county around here and look at their budget, you can see a lot of times a very similar format that shows a couple years prior, and as I said, so far this year, and then what at the end of the year will be in next year. That software that we own, that CIC software, can produce that exact balance sheet. So I encourage the use of that in order to make it easier on everybody on that committee. I don't know if something they can access, but if they plunk the numbers in there, hopefully they can more quickly come up with what they need. But I do believe it needs to be completed as best as you can get through. You think we can't do anything more, and then put it on the website, and then the 15 days starts. But I encourage everybody to call the treasurer's office and find out what the real deal is, because I hate to have to go back and 12 more days and go, oh crap, we got to start 15 over again. So just, it's a little bit unclear in spots, but I believe that probably that's correct also, just from reading what I've read. So I think probably in the end, the more information you give, the better off you are, and the more you conform to the statute. So.
Thank you. Public body comment.
I'm not going to beat up Mr. Brown, but I'm going to say, I thought when you stood up and turned around and you took a deep breath, I really thought you were going to apologize. And I was like really feeling, I'm like, that's really nice that he's going to actually apologize. And I really do thank you when you stepped down. I really do, because you're not good for serving us. It's just, I don't feel safe with somebody like you on the board, and I'm sure everybody else doesn't either. And it's just what I gotta say. Like I said, I didn't want to beat you up. You did your own beating to start this, so just saying. Just saying.
Are you done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Otherwise, I keep talking.
I didn't want to cut you off. I didn't want to. Public body comment? Public body comment. Mr. Harding.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people say a lot of things that they shouldn't say. I realize that. We got a country, it's not what it used to be. I mean, in case you haven't noticed, we're losing our civil society. And the cops are taking the biggest burn of it because they deal with people who, are not very nice, to say the least. You know what these people, you see them, you can watch these programs about, we've had public servants say stuff before, like Dick Durbin calling our servicemen Nazis, and Joe Biden calling the voters for Trump garbage. I didn't hear anybody pipe up about that, okay? I think it was inappropriate what he said, but you know what? Free speech, and sometimes I don't like free speech. I defend free speech, but sometimes I don't like it either. But that gives us the chance, free speech gives us the chance to, if something is total BS, then you got the right to stand up and say it is BS. And that's the good part about America. We can prove when somebody says something is baloney, we can prove them wrong. And that's the good part about free speech.
Public body comment? Public body comment? Mr. Shanks?
So, I'm ashamed at some of the things that have taken place this last year with this board. And I think Sonny, when he stepped into that chair, offered, he said, bear with me, we got a lot of struggles, a lot of problems. I'm gonna try to write some of these things. One of our biggest problems, I think, is that audit. I think a lot of our departments are depending on that grant funding. I think it is priority number one. I think passing a budget is priority number 1 or 2, whatever. I don't understand the hesitation or the situation with the farm stuff. I mean, it seems like background noise at this point. I think we owe it to our county employees to do the best job and give them the best tools that they have available. I think we owe it not to call them names, be derogatory, not be in support of them. I think from an ethical standpoint that that's wrong. And I'm just going to say, I asked Sonny if he would consider removing Tim Brown from the Road and Bridge Committee, because I don't think a committee chairperson should be in charge of overseeing or managing our highway department or county employees. I think he's lost that respect in that regard. And I don't think Sonny has chosen to take a position on that. I can respect not wanting to do that, but I think the next board coming in, they've got some tough choices to make, and they've got a tough road to go on some of those things. But I hope that Shelby County needs to start winning. That's the real reason why we have society and government, is to help the community as a whole. And I think in a lot of ways, over the last several months, there's been a lot of things that have gotten really off course. And I think we need to be getting back on track on all of these things. And I wanted to say one thing about the sheriff. He has taken a lot of these things from the sheriff's department and stuff from some of these board members. I don't think a lot of that was very professional. But Mr. Brown's comments aside, I'm talking about some of the other comments and other things that have gone on. The suggestion that we just slash his budget entirely to balance the whole county board budget, outrageous. I think he is a very stand-up guy for doing what he's done, because if I was in his shoes, I probably just would have walked away. But he is a real man.
So I can answer, and I will answer, and I hope that I was more clear in my communication back to you. I have spoken to Mr. Tappendorf, who is our engineer, that Mr. Brown chairs the committee that oversees. There are no more committee meetings until after the restructuring meeting in December. So simply removing him as the chair is nothing but a political stunt. It's ineffective. There's no more meetings anyway. I communicated with Mr. Tappendorf. Mr. Tappendorf saw no reason to do such, and so I didn't do that. Mr. Brown, I was asked to remove Mr. Brown from the Budget Committee by several people, and I acknowledge that Mr. Brown is not a member of the Budget Committee, so there's no action that can be taken there. And as far as removing Mr. Brown from the board, it's just not possible. So I appreciate your concern, and I apologize that I wasn't more clear in my response to you. Thank you. Public body comment. Public body comment. Public body comment. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Ms. Nelson makes the motion, Ms. Graham makes the second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign.
Just answer. Okay, I'm ready. All right. Like I said, I'll just shoot you an email, and I'm gonna copy the treasure so she can see to get paid. And you're tracking my traffic call, you should pay about
Makes it go good.
So we have your miles, the 34 round.